It's been a day after the LinkedIn layoff announcement, and I'm still carrying the heaviness in my chest, even though I was not part of the group being laid off. Yeah, you see what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, today might be one of the days of all time because LinkedIn just laid off around 700 people. And in classic Josh fashion, and I don't think you'd expect anything less, I thought we'd take a look at the LinkedIn layoff news on LinkedIn News. Layoff's latest, firms making cuts by this person, editor at LinkedIn News. And it's kind of funny, but also kind of sad because it means that this person was tasked with writing about all of the coworkers they just lost. If you didn't know, LinkedIn has roughly 19,500 employees somehow across 36 offices around the globe. Yeah. Now let me show you the memo that they sent out to the employees being let go. Team, we did not expect to share this important update with you all in the midst of such challenging times. When we go to the NPR article, it doesn't seem like it's very challenging. Its most recent quarterly report released in July, LinkedIn said its revenue increased 5% year over year and surpassed $15 billion for the first time. These are such challenging times. Revenue increased 5% year over year. I know it's not profit, but it just feels fake. If we jump back to the memo, it's just a bunch of HR word vomit that says a whole lot without saying anything. As we continue to execute on our FY24 plan, we also need to evolve how we work and what we prioritize so we can deliver on the key initiatives we've identified that will have such an outsized impact in achieving our business goals. Establishing unambiguous ownership, like I don't have to read the rest. They're just laying you off. I've seen some arguments that have to do with this claiming that it's all because people want to work remote. Therefore, you're being fired. If the company wants to save money, they're just going to cut costs. And in this case, it looks like LinkedIn is ramping up hiring in India, which is a cheaper cost of living area. So what can you do to protect yourself from layoffs like this? We all know the solution is to invest in your own skill set, and that's why I'm happy to introduce today's sponsor, Babbel, because Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world. I've actually been a fan of learning new cultures and languages since I was a little kid. When I lived in Finland and went to school there, I learned to speak Finnish. It's not the most useful. So instead, I've actually been learning Spanish because it's the second most spoken language in the world. There have been so many interactions here, living this lifestyle, meeting new people, where knowing how to say something in Spanish would have been super helpful. Just the other day, I saw a couple that was locked out of the clubhouse, and I knew enough Spanish to understand I forgot the code to the door, but I didn't know enough Spanish to say, hey, no problem, I can open the door for you. So instead, I do the awkward motion of pointing and like, hey, I can get that, and like head bobs. You know how it goes. So when Babbel offered to sponsor video, I absolutely had to take them up on it. When I play these games on Babbel, I feel like I have access to the words that are normally just on the tip of your tongue in another language. My favorite game right now is called Sink or Spell, and they put a cat on a boat, and you have to guess the words before the cat runs out of gas on the boat. It makes absolutely no sense at all, but I can hardly stop myself from running up to HR lady every now and then going, what's this word? Do habla. Wait, did I make it this time? I made it to the island. Let's go. Babbel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. The lessons are designed by real language teachers, and you can get 2 free live classes with your subscription. So if you're interested in learning a new language, you can check out the link below and get 60% off your subscription today. Thanks again, Babbel, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's jump back into the LinkedIn layoffs and look at a more humorous part of everything. And that's the part where we feel bad for the laid off employees at LinkedIn, but who now have to use all this toxic positivity to thank the platform that just laid them off. Now I want to believe that these people are just doing it purely to get another job, and that they don't really think that this company was the greatest experience of their entire life. But for some people, that is just their entire identity. Here's the perfect example of what I mean. It's been a day after the LinkedIn layoff announcement, and I'm still carrying the heaviness in my chest, even though I was not part of the group being laid off. I'm carrying not only the immense sadness of seeing my dear friends and colleagues leave, but also a sense of unfairness for them. They were not only brilliant and passionate engineers. Like, why do you even feel the need to post this? Are you gonna get a promotion or a raise? Or your coworkers gonna be like, yeah, this person stuck up for me when I got fired? It seems a little bit virtue signal-y to me. It doesn't change anything, so just message your actual coworkers that you care about them and that you'll miss them and that you're trying to help them out. It feels weird. It feels a little tacky in my opinion. One by one, I saw their farewell emails and posts. Finally, enough of them pierced through my brittle wall of emotion. You're not even being fired. A part of me felt like I'm supposed to numb my feelings for the sake of carrying on the work that I'm still paid to do. But I recently learned that if you numb pain, you also numb joy. Okay, I don't think that's true. I think it really depends. And so to all my coworkers who are still remaining at LinkedIn, do you really think they're gonna read this? If you're choosing to lean into the heaviness, just know you're not alone. You still have a job. That's a sign of how many people who have touched you and also how many lives you have to. Okay, look. Are you gonna start looking for a new job, or are you just gonna post this and then go back to working at LinkedIn like nothing happened? Like, what's the point of this post, you know? My reaction to reading this post is honestly just Didn't ask. Not relevant. You didn't even get laid off. All right, here's another one that's pretty silly. LinkedIn laid off 700 employees on Monday, and I was among them. It's a little pride swallowing. Okay, a lot. To know that somewhere, a room full of people you know had a meeting and decided that you possibly weren't contributing enough value. No, honestly, they probably didn't decide that you were not contributing. They probably just ran some numbers and said, hey,
these are some numbers we're currently at, and these are some numbers we'd like to get to. Make it work.
it's not that personal. She says, I'll get my mojo back. Of course I will. But until then, I'm going to put my trust back into the LinkedIn platform. And I'm also going to put myself to the test to see how much I really absorbed about job hunting and profile editing. I will rewatch my own LinkedIn Live and recommend it to anyone who is looking for work. Okay, this is the stuff I don't understand. I'm going to reinvest into the platform that let a bunch of people go so that I can get better at doing my job at LinkedIn so that I don't get let go later. And then to top it off, at least in my opinion, you know, they said it's a little pride swallow. They attach a selfie. To me, it just seems a little bit backwards, a little bit opposite of pride swallowing, but it's just odd to me that people go and praise these companies that fired them and think of them as if it was more than just a business agreement. And maybe that's what they told you while you were working there. And they're probably laughing all the way to the bank after they fired you and you're still thanking them. So do me a favor and click that like button if you enjoyed today's coverage of the corporate cringe and the LinkedIn layoff. Thanks again to Babbel for sponsoring today's video. You can check them out using the link down below and get 60% off your subscription. I think it's pretty obvious what my opinion on LinkedIn is, but I'd still like to know yours. And as an added challenge, see if you can write it in Spanish because it's honestly good practice for me. And one last thing, click that subscribe button if you'd like to see me call out more of this corporate nonsense. If you have anything you'd like me to put on the channel, feel free to email me, Discord, Instagram, it's all down there in the description. Having said all that, I hope everyone's doing well. Hasta luego.